Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to take a look at the Bushmaster's Whittlers Pocket Knife. So I just received this from Amazon yesterday. I want to open it up, try it out. So let's take a look. So the packaging, it's pretty straightforward. It's not a bad looking package. We open it up. Our knife's going to be inside of a plastic bag. And then we have a set of instructions as well. So we'll take the box, we'll get that out of our way. So I guess it's a full color pamphlet that's inside. Just some other options that Bushmaster makes, and then some other tools that they make there as well on the other side. So taking a look at our knife, we'll take it out of the bag. So I believe we have 5 tools in total on here. So we're going to have a straight blade. We're going to have a gouge. We have a V-shaped hook. We have a curved carving knife. We have a gouge scoop. And then we have a flat chisel as well. Looking online, the reviews kind of have a mixed bag. So depending on which review you read, it's going to say that it's excellent steel. However, the blades will need a little bit of work. They'll need some sharpening or some honing. Some of the other reviews on it will say that there's absolutely no issue with it right out of the box and it's good to go. So I don't know how sharp these are to start with. So looking at it right now, for the one that I got, the only one that I'd say is remotely sharp is going to be our straight blade. Everything else is going to need to be sharpened before I'm going to be able to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run that over a sharpening stone. So what I'll do is I'm going to go get my knife sharpener. I'll get that out. I'll run that across a rod and we'll get that a bit sharper. So I just ran downstairs. I grabbed my work sharpening tool. We're going to start with that to sharpen the blade. Now for every one of these blades, none of these lock into place. It just open and close them. They open quite smoothly. There's no issue opening them at all. And they're fairly tight once they're actually deployed out. So there is a little bit of pressure that you need to apply in order to open or to close those, just because of the style of the handle. Now where this is relatively sharp to start with, I'm just going to take it and I'm going to use a strop on it. Now whenever you're using a strop, you want to make sure you're getting that perfect angle first, drawing your blade back, just taking your time. And all that's going to do is just remove a fine little bit of metal, smooth that out a little bit along the edge, and it's going to greatly improve how well that's going to be able to cut. You just want to make sure you're keeping that constant angle. You don't want to be dulling the blade at all. All right, that's really sharp right now. For our gouge scoop, this is absolutely dull. If I were to try and use this right now, I would probably hurt myself because I'd be using so much effort. To start with, this is not safe to use. You're going to have to sharpen it. And all I'm doing is I'm getting that right angle. I'm just drawing it really loosely over that edge, making sure that I'm rotating it the whole time. But it's really important that we maintain that angle. And all we're doing is just shaving off that a little bit at a time. I'm not really putting a whole lot of force onto this. And I'm just slowly dragging it across. So it's starting to get a little bit better. It's still pretty dull. I might even go to the coarser side. That's starting to help a little bit more. Now I've got the center fairly sharp right now, but on either side, on the end where you can still see the paint on the gouge, that part of it's still quite dull. So I'm just going to concentrate on those 2 areas for a little bit. And like I said, all I'm doing is I'm just applying that even pressure. I started using a little more pressure than when I started out using, just because I realized exactly how dull this is and how far off of being sharp it is. But we're starting to get there. About sharp enough to go to the other side there now. Starting to sharpen up nicely. This would be a little bit easier with a flat rod than the round one, just because we have 2 round objects rubbing against each other. So I think it'd be a little bit easier with a flat one. Okay, we're starting to get sharp there now. So we'll run that across our strop. We'll put a little more stropping compound on that. We're starting to get there. Right now we're about as sharp as the straight blade on here was when I started. Just because of the curvature of the blade, it is a little bit harder to sharpen, which is why it's taking me a little longer than it did to do the straight blade. All right, we're almost where I'm going to be happy with this. We just had the Amazon delivery guy dropping off a parcel. We also had a return to go back. Last week, my lawnmower broke, just the part that the pull cord goes into. The plastic around there broke, so I needed to order a new pull string assembly. I ordered the wrong one and it didn't fit at all. So I just sent that one back and I ordered a new one. That's not bad right now. So my V-shaped gouge on the bottom side right here, it's perfect. And then on the top, it is absolutely dull as a doorknob. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sharpen this one end, leave this alone, and I'll just hone this end. That's a lot better. I don't even know if I can run it across this. I'm not even going to bother trying. I'm just going to go right to the strop. There, I'm pretty happy with how sharp that is right now. So this is kind of the same thing where part of the blade's nice and sharp and then part of it's not. So you can see in here where there's a lot of paint. Where that paint is, it's absolutely dull. We're okay on this side where there's a little bit of paint. Towards the middle, we're fairly sharp, and then towards this end, it is dull as a doorknob. When you're sharpening this as well, you want to make sure you're rocking with the shape of the blade. You don't want to make flat spots on the blade. All these carving tools, we're only sharpening one side of the blade, except for the straight knife, because all the other ones are designed to kind of dig in and have that one-sided edge. I'm starting to get there. All right, I think we'll go to the other side now. Really important as you go that we're continuing to maintain that blade angle. We're starting to get nice and sharp there now. I'll head over to my strop. The other scoop was a little bit smaller, which kind of just made it a little bit harder. Okay, that edge is really nice right now. There was a little bit of a burr on this blade. I just kind of took that off a little bit just with my fingernail. Now this blade isn't overly sharp, but it won't take much to get it there, I don't think. We're just going to start at the tip, make sure we got the right angle, and just go with the curve of the blade. And once again, we're just going to sharpen the one side of this blade. With any of these tools, we just want to make sure that we only sharpen one side so that they cut properly. Okay, we're getting pretty close there now. Any of these curved blades are infinitely harder than doing a straight blade. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that now. Come out of there. There. So our chisel's not too bad. They did a lot better job on the straight tools as opposed to the curved tools. I think we can get away with just using the strop on this. I wish they had have put the chisel end on the other side just to make it a little bit easier for when you're putting pressure on it. Just making sure we keep that angle the whole time. All right, I'm pretty happy with that there now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside, grab a piece of wood. Maybe we'll make a bowl, and I'll find a piece of wood that's adequate for what we're doing, or a couple pieces of wood that'll work for what we're doing, and then see what we can come up with. Alright, all I'm looking for is something that at the end of the day, I'll be happy with the shape of what I make. So I think I'm going to make a bowl, a little bit of a bowl plate shaped thing out of this. So my plan right now, I think I'm going to try and split it along here. So I'll start a split here, and I'll start a split here, and then I'll carve this shape into a bowl at the bottom. I got 2 wedges in right now. I got a nice split going along that log. It's splitting exactly where I want it to split. I'm just going to continue to split it using the wedges. Then I have a 3rd wedge already made right here. There we go. We got that split there now. Just exactly where I wanted it. I'm going to do a little bit of rough shaping with the axe, and then we'll use our pocket knife at that point. Making these vertical cuts, it limits how far you're going to cut into the wood, and it limits the likelihood that it's going to split as well. Now that I got the basic shape that I want, the next step I'm going to do for this is I'm going to make it a burn bowl, and then I'm going to carve it out with a knife. So I'm going to take some of these wood chips, light those on fire. Once those are on fire, I'll let them burn into the wood a bit. I'll scrape that out, and I'll repeat that several times until I start to burn the inside of it out and get it a bit thinner. I've been using the Bushmaster Whittlers Pocket Knife for a few days now, and what I've decided after a few days of use is that it's not really the right tool for the application that I bought it for. So because of that, I'm going to make the choice to send it back. However, it's not the fault of the knife, it's the fault of me purchasing the wrong tool for the job that I want to perform. What I'm finding with the knife is I can't get the right angle to whittle it past about an inch down into a board. Once I'm down about an inch, I'm not able to scoop out properly. I'm having a really hard time. And it really just comes down to the shape and the width of the knife and the angle of the scoops on it. If they were a little bit longer, maybe I'd have a little more luck with it. But really what I'm finding is I'm just getting really frustrated with it. It's really a lot of work to get it into that right angle because of the shape of the handle and the shape of the blades. If they're a little bit longer, like I said, it might have worked out a little bit better. I find that it's relatively comfortable in your hand for about the first 20-30 minutes. After about 20 or 30 minutes of using the knife, it becomes really uncomfortable in your hand. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to send this back, and I'm going to get a regular set of wooden handle ones that have individual blades on each one. I think I'm going to be happier with that than I am with this. It is a nice knife though. Like I said, there are a few fit and finish issues with this knife. Like there's a bigger gap right here than what there really should be. As far as the quality of the steel, I think is certainly adequate for what it is. It's holding an edge well enough. I think it could hold the edge a little bit better, but it's certainly holding it well enough that it is serviceable, functional, and easily to use. It's just the angle and the thickness of the blades. That sweep, I'm not able to get in there the way I want just because of that thicker part on the end. If they were maybe an inch longer, I wouldn't have that problem. However, that would certainly make it quite a bit bigger and not able to fit in your pocket at that point. So I think I'm just not happy with it and I'm going to send it back. All right, guys, that's going to be everything for today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and enjoy the rest of your day.